Aquarius, let's start with your reading. Today, we are going to look into the energies around you at the moment, and then we will take a look into the events coming up for you in the next few months. Let's now start with your main energy. Okay, your first message today is the energy is gaining momentum. And if you're trying to figure out which energy this card is talking about, you might not be able to identify it. And the reason being is because I really feel that it hasn't showed up yet. We see these birds flying full speed, which means that someone is coming towards you physically, emotionally, with a message of some sort or a gift, a promise. This feels to me like someone who is on a mission, someone with some sort of plan, and they plan to transform a moment into momentum. Something coming up here which they see as the trigger for everything that can come afterwards. You can really see the determination with the waxing moon, which symbolizes intention and clarity. Potentially, most of you are not expecting this to happen, but it's going to happen nevertheless. So let's look into this message. Let's do our 3 shuffles and let's begin with your reading, Aquarius. Okay. Oh, wow. These energies are definitely strong. And with this death rebirth energy at the beginning of the reading, we can definitely see that there is a major chapter of your life coming to an end here. This might be something you're going through right now or something that has happened sometimes in the past, but that it's still echoing in your environment for some reason. Because obviously, this wasn't just the end of something small and temporary. This was major arcana. Now, what I'm seeing here is that since the card is reversed, someone is still holding on to this, still being a little stubborn when it comes to the situation, this connection, not wanting for it to end. They want for a door to still be open, who knows, maybe for something in the future to happen. And overall, this person is not able to fully let go of this or even the idea of this. I feel that in this situation in general, the heart and the mind are not yet synced up together. Someone is thinking that this is not good anymore for them, feel like they want it to end, and in their mind they're clear about this, but their heart is still very much connected to the other person, to the situation, and unfortunately that takes a little longer to adjust. We know that even when we are certain that the best thing to do is just to move on, there is still something that has to happen in our heart to sync up with that awareness. There is an afterglow that keeps shining for a little while after the ending happens. And some people get stuck in it without being able to find their way out from it. And we see how right here, this person perceives themselves still connected to it, still in a position where they have that situation around, and in a position where they haven't lost anything at all. With their heart, this person is still connected to you, or vice versa, in case you feel that this is you that we're talking about. Now, with the Judgment card over here in the very heart of the reading, we can see why this person is still very much thinking about this and stubbornly holding on to this. They think that the match is not over, and for a very specific reason. This person is thinking that they haven't even started fighting. There is something that they still want to talk about, something they didn't say potentially back then, and that they know it might fix things, or they know it might at least explain some of the events that have happened at some point. They overall feel as if they haven't made their move yet. And for some reason, they believe that once they do, once they give you this information, once you will learn about this, that door would reopen. And magically things will go back to normal. But would they? And by the way, there is also this underlying belief from them about the fact that the two of you are absolutely meant to be together. This is someone who's thinking that you're meant for each other. The two of you are just meant to do this once again. They really believe this. And we see that that belief, it's keeping them attached to the idea of this connection. And I do believe that at some point you thought that too. You thought that you were meant to be together. But right now, after seeing what you've seen, you might have changed your mind. Or you might have even stopped wondering about it, When you keep pushing someone away day after day with your actions, with your words, at some point, that person will be so far from you that it will be very hard for them to remember why they fell in love in the first place. And I just see that right now, you feel very distant, Aquarius. Even if you wish that things would have played out differently, that's where you are today. In fact, when I look into your energy, I see that you're mostly focused on rebuilding yourself, focused on finding balance. Look at this person walking on that little bridge, trying to keep balance, trying to really do what it takes in order to not fall apart in a way, potentially even just emotionally. You are wanting to find happiness, potentially even find love, although it's harder to believe in it after ending such major cycle. What you might not be aware of is that something big is actually coming your way. You might be listening to this reading, listening to how the other person might feel, and think that it's not going to impact you in any way. But you might be wrong about that, given the Tower coming up next. This feels to me like the moment of truth. And obviously, with the Five of Cups, we see what the truth might be. I don't like to call it a match, but it really looks like someone coming in with a strategy, coming in with a prepared speech as well. This is someone who has rehearsed something, who's ready to make their case as to why the two of you are not finished yet. We'll look into what this person wants to say, but we see right away how this overall energy speaks to how convinced they have become of the fact that the two of you are going to be back together. I see this Five of Cups, which is someone who really feels the loss and who feels sad about how things turned out, but at the same time, they are completely ignoring it. They're thinking, no, that's not how this ends. It's not how this ends. And when I make my move, when I say what I want to say, things will change. There is no doubt in their mind. It's very rare, but I don't see any fear, any hesitancy. They just come in, knowing that this is going to work out. But obviously, seeing the Tower means that anything is possible in that moment, and that the actual evolution of this energy might actually end up surprising you both. That could be absolutely the case. Now, regardless of you wanting to explore this again, wanting to even engage into this conversation or not, I do in fact see that this is going to impact your own journey, Aquarius. I can assure you of that. It doesn't mean that you're going to feel like, okay, I want to go back to them. No, but it's going to impact you for reasons that we'll have to look into. The Tower, it's not a one-way type of energy. The Tower is a 360-degree type of energy, changing everything around it and everything around you. I just get the sense that at this point you have very little expectations when it comes to this, but there are moments that can be so powerful. And with the Tower, we see one of those moments coming up that they not only change your future, but they also redefine your past. Is this going to be one of them? We definitely have a message. We definitely have a first move. And we'll have to see what this is about in order to understand how it's actually going to transform into change around you, how this moment can actually transform into momentum. So let's look into this. So far, what we've seen is that someone intends to come in, to tell you something, to fight for you and to fix what was broken. Will this be successful? And how is this going to impact you? Let's look into the future energy surrounding the situation, and let's see how the situation is bound to evolve in the next few months following this Tower moment. If you want to dive deeper into the messages, Aquarius, just follow me in the extended reading link below in the description box. Also, don't forget that every single week I randomly select viewers who have watched the extended video to offer them a 100% free personal 30-minute live reading. I send out emails every Monday morning to confirm. Please make sure to check out your spam folder as well. Now, stay tuned for the extended preview coming right up after this. Welcome back to your extended reading, Aquarius. The bridging energy taking us from this current situation to the upcoming events is the Devil, but also this Three of Swords picked up at some point when I was closing the previous reading. And this is a very important message right here. We see someone who has experienced a heartbreak, a disappointment, and that heartbreak has deeply changed them. There is something right here that talks about a person who has realized certain things and how important certain connections, situations, and people were right when they lost them. And so this is someone who is prepared and ready to come in and make the case, because honestly, in the position where they find themselves right now, whether they acknowledge it or not, it's a position where they have nothing that they really care about, no one that they really care about. And when you have nothing to lose. And so that's why the more we look into this person's energy, the more we see why this determination. There is some sort of numbness when it comes to fear, when it comes to the potential for things to not work out, because in their mind, they don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to look into a possibility where the two of you, a world, a future where the two of you don't end up together. I mean, it's such, I never get this type of energy in readings. This is the first for me. And it's really telling us that this person has this idea that cannot be changed because they do not want it to change. And they come in with strength because they feel that that's the only possible outcome. Obviously, we know that it's not, but this is how they're coming in. But we see with this Page of Swords that, as we were saying, this person wants to tell you something they wish they said, something they wish they shared with you before, but they haven't, and something that will have an impact on you. Look how this Page of Swords looks down to this Tower. So let's see what this is. Let's start by clarifying the Page of Swords. Okay, look at this. I mean, the first thing that we see is that this person is truly pouring their heart out. And one of the things that they're going to say here, it's potentially going to surprise you. What we're seeing, we're here, in fact,